It was just past 2 a.m. when I heard it. A soft sound, almost like crying, almost like wind. I had stepped outside for one last walk before bed. The street was empty. The snow had stopped falling hours ago, but the cold still bit through my jacket like it had teeth. My breath came out in small white clouds, and the only sound in the whole neighborhood was the soft crunch of my boots against the frozen sidewalk. And then I heard it again, that tiny, broken sound. I froze in the middle of the sidewalk and listened. It wasn't wind, it wasn't a bird. It was something alive, something hiding. I followed the sound until I reached an old silver car parked across the street, and when I bent down to look underneath, two glowing eyes stared back at me, wide, terrified, frozen in place. A cat, a small tabby cat, pressed flat against the cold pavement, her tiny body shaking like a leaf in a storm. I didn't move, I didn't speak. I just crouched there, watching her watch me. And in that moment, I knew I wasn't going back inside without her. I tried calling to her softly. I made the gentlest sound I could, but she only pressed herself further into the shadow of the engine, her ears flat, her whiskers twitching. Every part of her told me the same thing. She had learned the hard way that humans were not safe. She had clearly been there a long time, maybe hours, maybe nights. The way her body folded into itself told me she had learned how to disappear, and the way her eyes flickered between me and the dark told me she had been hurt before, maybe more than once. I went back inside, but only to grab a small can of tuna and an old towel. When I returned, she was still there, still trembling, still waiting for me to be just another reason to run. I placed the food a few feet from her and sat down on the freezing curb. I didn't reach, I didn't push, I just stayed. For nearly an hour, I sat there, talking to her in the softest voice I could find, telling her she was safe now, telling her nobody was going to hurt her, telling her she didn't have to be brave anymore. She didn't come out, but she stopped shaking. And in the world of a frightened stray, that's the closest thing to a yes. The next morning, I bought a soft carrier and a small heated bed. I came back to the car at sunrise, hoping, praying, and there she was, still tucked beneath the engine, eyes a little less wild, body a little less stiff. She had stayed. Maybe because she was too weak to move, or maybe, just maybe, because some quiet part of her remembered the man who had simply sat with her in the cold. It took me 3 more hours of patience, 3 more hours of soft words and slow movements, but eventually, with one careful step, she crept out from under the car and into the carrier. She didn't fight, she didn't claw, she just looked up at me and let me close the door. By the time we got home, she had curled into the smallest ball you can imagine, like she was still trying to hide, even from kindness. If something about this story is already touching you, hold on to that feeling. There is so much more coming. I named her Hazel because of her warm, golden eyes, and because hazel is the color of something quiet and brave at the same time. The first day, she stayed under my couch. She wouldn't eat in front of me, she wouldn't drink. Every time I walked past, she pressed herself deeper into the dark. I left water and food close by, and I gave her space. I reminded myself that healing is not a thing you can rush. It is a door someone else has to open from the inside. The second day, she crept out around midnight. I pretended not to see. I let her explore. I let her own the room. I heard the soft sound of crunching food in the kitchen, and I smiled at the ceiling like a fool. But the third day, that's when something happened that I will never forget. I was sitting on the floor, working on my laptop, when I felt the smallest pressure against my leg, so light I almost missed it. I looked down, and there she was, Hazel, sitting beside me, still tense, still uncertain, but there. Then she did something I never expected. She lifted her tiny paw and rested it on my hand. Just like that. No fear, no flinch, no hesitation. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just stared at this little creature who'd 3 days ago was hiding under a stranger's car at 2 a.m. and who was now choosing to touch me first. I cried. I'm not ashamed to say it. I sat there with tears running down my face, with a tiny tabby paw on my hand, and I thought, how does an animal who has been through so much still know how to trust? How does she still have love left to give? That single moment broke something open in me, and it healed something at the same time, because I had been carrying my own quiet wounds for years, wounds I rarely let anyone see. And somehow, this small creature with frostbitten paws looked straight through all of them. Stories like this are exactly the reason I keep telling them. The weeks that followed were full of small miracles. Hazel learning that food doesn't run out. Hazel learning that footsteps don't always mean danger. Hazel learning that warm hands don't always hurt. Each tiny victory felt like watching a flower grow back petal by petal. She started sleeping at the foot of my bed, then on top of the blanket, then right against my chest, purring so loudly the whole room seemed to hum. There was a rhythm to her purring that I came to recognize like a heartbeat, soft, steady, certain. She found her favorite window, the one that faces the snow, and every morning, without fail, she sits there, watching, quiet, peaceful. Sometimes I wonder what she sees out there. Maybe she's remembering the cold she escaped. Maybe she's letting it go piece by piece. Maybe she's just glad she gets to watch the snow from the inside now, with a warm bed behind her and a person who would never, ever leave her in the cold again. Today, almost a year later, she is a different cat. Her body is strong, her coat shines. She follows me from room to room like a tiny shadow with a soft tail. When I cook, she watches me from the doorway. When I read, she falls asleep on the page. And when I cry, she presses her forehead against my chin, like she somehow knows. And when I climb into bed at night, she climbs in beside me. She presses her head against my cheek, she closes her eyes, and she purrs, slowly, steadily, like she is finally home. Because she is. That night under the car, I thought I was rescuing her, but the truth is, she rescued me too. She taught me that healing doesn't happen all at once. It happens in tiny moments. A paw on a hand, a purr in the dark, a choice to trust again. And sometimes, the bravest thing a soul can do, human or animal, is simply let someone get close. If you're thinking about adopting a cat, please remember they are not just pets. They are healers. They are quiet little miracles that walk into our lives on the coldest nights and remind us what warmth really means. They don't ask for much, just patience, just kindness, just a chance to begin again. Some stories are too good to keep to yourself. Imagine how many people need to hear this today. So tell me, do cats choose us or do we choose them? After hearing Hazel's story, what do you really believe? Tell me in the comments below.